Okay. So today we are discussing about the reproductive system. In this, excuse me, in this reproductive system, so we will discussing about the male and female reproductive system and their genital organs, how they are, what are their functions, what are the secretions produced from them, and then where they are placed, what are their anatomical relations and their features. Okay, the gonadal organs, they are different in male and female. In the male it is testis, whereas in the female it is ovary. In the females, these secretes the hormones, as well as in the males also there are secretion of hormones. 1 minute. And they also secrete, in the male they secrete sperm, whereas in the female it is ovary. They also secretes the endocrine hormones. So these are about the hormones and their what are the gonadal organs. And these, the external organs, what are the organs, actually they are divided into two groups. So one is the external genital organs and the internal organs which are helping. First, in the males, the genital organs, they are divided into two groups. So one is the external genital organs and another one is the internal genital organs. The external genital organs, they are penis and scrotum. Okay. In some books, they also discussed, they will also include the spermatic cord. So as the spermatic cord is also a part of male genital organ, but it is in some books it includes, they include in the internal organs. Okay, that is not the that much big difference, but the internal organs, they are testis, epididymis, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, seminal vesicles, ejaculatory duct, and vas deferens. These are the internal organs of the male reproductive system. Next, the first one, it is the scrotum. So what is a scrotum? So scrotum, it is a pouch-like structure where it contains the testis. So testis is situated in this a large pendulous sac of lower part of the anterior abdominal wall. So where it is present? It is present below the anterior abdominal wall. So anterior abdomen. So below the abdomen. It maintains the temperature. What it does? It maintains the temperature less than 3%. It maintains the temperature less than 3 degree Celsius. Why? This less than 3 degrees Celsius, because of this maintenance, there will be a production of hormones will be maintained by this. Okay. Next, what are the layers? So these layers, it is made up of the scrotal bag. The scrotal bag or a scrotal pouch, it is made up of layers. From outside to inside, what are the layers? These are the skin, superficial fascia. This superficial fascia, it is also called dartus muscle fascia also, because this fascia, it is coming from the muscle present in the scrotum. It is called,
Doctor, can
yeah,
you use the pointer, please? We can see with you.
okay. So this one, the dartus muscle, it replaces the fatty layer because it is the only muscle which is present in the scrotum, that is the dartus muscle. It is also called Colles fascia. And then the external spermatic fascia, and then cremastic fascia, and the internal spermatic fascia, and tunica vaginalis. So these are the 6 layers of the scrotum. And what are the contents? The contents of the scrotum, they are testis, epididymis, and lower part of the spermatic cord, where the spermatic cord is having two parts, the lower part and the upper part. So the upper part which lies in the abdomen only. So in the next slide I will show you. Next is the spermatic cord. What is the spermatic cord? The spermatic cord, it is a cord like structure which it is coming from the deep inguinal ring and passes through the inguinal canal and comes out, exit or comes out from the superficial inguinal ring. So where it is? So this one, see this picture. So this whole thing is the inguinal area, just below the abdomen. So this area, it is the inguinal area, and here there are 2 rings inside the abdominal cavity. There are 2 rings. The inner one, it is called the deep inguinal ring, and the outer one, it is called superficial inguinal ring. Okay, the space between these rings, the space between deep inguinal ring and the superficial inguinal ring is called inguinal canal. Okay, now the spermatic cord, it comes from the it passes from deep inguinal ring and then come into the inguinal canal and then comes out from the superficial inguinal ring. So the from superficial inguinal ring, this part is called lower part of the spermatic cord. Okay, just don't take this much, but whatever I told in this slide, this much is enough. So where it starts from the deep inguinal ring, passes in the inguinal canal and exit from the superficial inguinal ring and then goes into the scrotum. Then at the beginning, in the beginning, what happens? This deep inguinal ring, it is related to inferior epigastric artery. Okay, so it is one of the important artery which supplies us, which is present near the deep inguinal ring. Next, and then it attaches to the testis. Here, the structures connected to spermatic cord. What all the structures present inside the spermatic cord? Okay. So one thing you can easily remember. So where it is, this is spermatic cord, it is attaching to the testis. Okay. So usually the common word here you can see in some of the structures, that is testicular artery, testicular vein, testicular lymph vessels. Okay, so these like this you have to remember. So one is the vas deferens. So vas deferens means the vas deferens is also having an artery named by vas deferens. Okay, testicular vas deferens, testicular artery, the cremasteric muscle, the muscle, the cremasteric muscle and cremasteric artery. Okay, artery for vas deferens I told. And then testicular vein, testicular lymph vessel, genital branch of genitofemoral nerve, autonomic nerve, and remnants of process vaginalis. These are all these structures together form one cord-like structure that is called spermatic cord. Okay. Next, the internal genital organs. The internal genital organs, they are testis, epididymis, prostate gland, and prostate, bulbourethral gland, seminal vesicles, ejaculatory duct, and vas deferens. These are the internal genital organs of the male. So here, this is the testis. This part is the epididymis. This epididymis continues as vas deferens. It goes like this, and then it goes near the urinary bladder, this one, and then behind the ureter, and then comes down like this here, and then goes into the prostate gland, and then from the prostate gland, here it forms then one more duct. It is called ejaculatory duct, and then this part is the urethra. Okay. Next is the testis. By now you all know what the testis, so where they are present. So these are the testes are the male gonadal organs, firm and mobile organs. So they are suspended in the bag-like structure that is called scrotum. And the left testis is lower than the right. See here, you can just by seeing this picture, you can just you will come to know. So this right one, it is slightly above, the left one is slightly lower, the position. Okay. So dimension, it is not required. Okay, just you can leave it. Just for your information, you know, these are the measurements, and it has the two poles, upper pole, lower pole, the two borders, and two surfaces. And this testis, it is how it is attached. So it is attached or supported by the scrotal ligament. It is attached with a scrotal ligament by which comes from the gubernaculum. So this is one of the gubernaculum is the developmental structure which comes and gives the many other structures. Don't worry about all those things. So just remember here, the scrotal ligament, it comes from it is the remnant of gubernaculum. Next. Okay. Next, in this picture, you can make out the parts. So here, this is the upper pole, the lower pole. This one is the lateral surface. This part is the lateral surface. Here, this area is the medial surface, like that. And the anterior border, posterior borders. Now, so what is there in the upper pole? In the upper pole, you have the two structures. So one is the head of the epididymis and appendix of testis. So what is this appendix of the testis? So it's a small structure, comma-like structure will be present on the inside, and the spermatic cord. So these are the structure which are attaching to the upper pole. What are the structures? The head of the epididymis and appendix of testis and the spermatic cord. So this is the epididymis. This photo is the original kidney which is taken from the body, cadaver, and taken the picture. Okay. Then on the medial surface, how the medial surface is? The medial surface is smooth and convex. Okay. And the lateral surface, one of the important structure where you can identify the testis, the right and left. So that don't worry about the identification part, the right testis or left testis, but the important structure which is present here, that is the sinuses of epididymis. So what the sinuses of epididymis? It is present on the lateral surface of the testis. On the lateral surface of the testis, the epididymis, this one, this part, it is separated from the testis by a space, or that space is called recess. What is the name of that recess? That recess is called sinuses of epididymis. Okay. Next, the anterior.
What is present, doctor?
Nothing is present.
Okay.
Nothing is present. It is a space between the epididymis and testis.
Okay, clear.
So this structure will give helps in identification of the testis, whether it belongs to right side or left side. Okay.
Okay.
On the posterior border, so that is also convex. The lower pole is also convex. Almost all the parts of the testis, they are convex in shape. On the posterior border, it is related tunica vaginalis partly, and the lower pole, this is the lower pole here. Here, this lower part is called, this is the tail of the epididymis. This is the tail of epididymis, and then it is also covered by tunica vaginalis. One minute. One minute. Okay. Next about the main functions of testis are the endocrine functions. It secretes the sex hormones and also produces the sperm. So 5% of the sperm is produced from the testis. Okay. The main thing, another main thing of the testis is the coverings of the testis. So here you remember, this is the common word, the tunica. So all the layers there, the common name is tunica. One is tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, and tunica vasculosa. So these are the coverings of the testis. So this one, this picture is also a real kidney which is taken out from the cadaver, and then we made a section like this, cut like this, to show the inside what is present. Next, when you take a section, so when you cut the testis, what you will see? Inside you will see there are many structures, the coil-like structures. So these coil-like structures, they are called seminiferous tubule. So what is the secretion of testis? It is semen. So how this semen, where it secretes? This semen, it secretes in the tube-like structure called seminiferous tubule. Okay, we should remember like this: semen, seminiferous tubule. Okay. Now, so what it is covering? So this whole testis, it is covered by a sac-like serous sac structure that is called tunica vaginalis. This one. So this is the cavity. It is covered by tunica vaginalis. And then inside, what is there? Inside also a small layer that is called the fibrous capsule. This fibrous capsule, it is called tunica albuginea. So what are the layers? One is the sac-like serous sac, that is called tunica vaginalis, and the fibrous capsule, that is tunica albuginea. Then, so this is the coverings. Then what you see inside? Inside you have the lobes. The whole testis is divided into many lobes. So how many lobes are there? There are 200 to 300 lobes. How these lobes are formed? These lobes are formed by fibrous septa. Okay, what it is? Inside there are interior of the testis is divided into 200 to 300 lobes by fibrous septa. Okay, then each lobe contains the coiled structure. So what is present inside these lobes of the testis? The lobes of the testis contains the seminiferous tubules. Okay, then what happens to these seminiferous tubules? The seminiferous tubules joins each other and open into a rete testis. This one. This is the rete testis. See here. All these are coils. So how they are, where they are going? They are joining. They are going each other and joins in the network. That network is called rete testis. Then, so after this, what happens? There is one more structure. So they are called small efferent ductules. So these are the efferent ductules which are connected by rete testis. Or you can also say rete testis is connected to efferent ductules. This forms the head of epididymis. So it is clear here. Any doubts in this?
Doctor, I did understand. After the rate testis is joining with a small efferent.
Rete testis?
Yes.
Okay, see here. So this is the rete testis, this part. Okay. This is rete testis. And here you have seminal vesicles. So these rete testis, it is connecting the structure, they are called efferent ductules. It is clear now?
Yes, I understand.
So all these structures, the collection of efferent ductules, this collection of efferent ductules, it forms the head of epididymis. What is present in the head of epididymis? Efferent ductules. That is the meaning. Okay. Next, what is the blood supply? The blood supply, it is by the testicular artery. So this testicular artery, it comes from the abdominal aorta. The cremasteric artery, It is a branch from inferior epigastric artery, the artery of vas. Here the vas, meaning of vas means it is a short form of vas deferens. Okay. It is from inferior epigastric artery. Next, the venous drainage. The venous drainage, it forms the venous plexus, the group of veins. So these are plexus of veins, venous plexus. Okay. Next, the right testicular vein drains into inferior vena cava. The left testicular vein drains into left renal vein. The lymphatic drainage are para-aortic lymph nodes. Next to the ducts of the testis. Okay. So in the previous slide, as we discussed, what we discussed? Vasa efferenta or efferent ductules. This part. I am talking about this part. Okay. So efferent ductules. These efferent, how many efferent ductules? There are 15 to 20 efferent ductules. Where they are connecting? They are connecting here. Can you make out this? This is the another network. This network is called rete testis. Okay. And this whole structure is called head of epididymis. So what is here? There are 15 to 20 tubules connect the rete testis to the head of epididymis. It is clear now? Okay. So then, what is epididymis? Epididymis, it is a comma-shaped structure. So how it is? It is a comma-shaped structure connected to the testis. So where it is connecting? It is connected to the testis and present or located in scrotum. Then, and it is a coiled tube like this. If you see like this, so these are the coiled structure like this, and then it comes as a vas deferens. So where it is present? It is present in the posterior to the testis. Posterior part of the testis with vas deferens lying on the medial side. On the medial side of it, there is a vas deferens of epididymis. It has three parts. So one is, you can see, this is the head of epididymis. It is the body of epididymis, and here the lower part, it is the tail of the epididymis. The three parts. And then the same thing I told, the sinuses of epididymis. The same thing I told in that when I described the testis. Again I will tell the sinuses of epididymis, where it is present between the testis and epididymis on the lateral side. On the lateral side of the testis, there is a space called sinuses of epididymis. The main function is the storage and maturation of the sperm. So what is the function of this? It helps in the storage of the sperm. The sperm will be storing here. Next is the vas deferens. This vas deferens, what is this vas deferens? This vas deferens is there are two structures. So this one, two vas deferens, one this side, one on the right, one on the left side. They are surrounded by or made up of smooth muscles, 45 centimeters in length. And what is the function of it? It transport spermatozoa. It means the matured sperm. When the sperm get mature, so it transport in this from the epididymis to the urethra. So the sperm comes like this, and then here from the urethra it comes outside. Okay. The vas deferens is the continuation or beginning of tail of epididymis. From where it continues? From this part. This is the tail of the epididymis. From the tail of the epididymis, it continues as vas deferens. Okay. Then how it goes? It ascends upwards. It is going upwards. It is going upwards like this, ascends in the spermatic cord to the deep inguinal ring. Then what happens? Then it curves medially. It is curved. It is turning to the medial side or around the inferior epigastric artery. Okay. Then what happens? Then this vas deferens, it makes a ampulla. So ampulla means this one. See here. All of you come to this picture. Okay. Ampulla means it is a small bulge. This part, this is ampulla of vas deferens, and there is a one more structure. What is called? This is seminal vesicle. Ampulla of vas deferens unites small seminal vesicle to form ejaculatory duct. So it is clear here now. Here what happens? Once again, I'll tell you. This vas deferens, it will come like this. Okay, it is coming like this, and below it forms the ampulla. Okay, like this. And there is one more structure. This like this. This is called seminal vesicle. So these two structures, they will join. These two join to form a common structure that is called ejaculatory duct. What is this ejaculatory duct? So whenever when you want to release the sperm, this ejaculatory duct, the sperm comes from this ejaculatory duct and then comes out from the urethra. Otherwise, in the normal term, here it passes only urine. Okay. Next, what is ejaculatory duct? So there are two ejaculatory ducts on each side and formed by the union of seminal vesicle and terminal parts of vas deferens. Okay. It opens in the prostatic part of the urethra.
Doctor,
Next.
please repeat the fourth line. I don't understand it.
Which one?
Fourth line. Fourth line.
This
The
one.
sentence and the
This
no,
one?
no, no. In the first definition. A sentence in the socratic cord.
You just read the
Yes.
sentence, ascend into the spermatic cord.
Yes.
See what happens. This vas deferens, it is coming like this. Here, this one is the spermatic cord. Okay. What is the content of spermatic cord? The spermatic cord contains testicular artery, testicular vein, and testicular lymph nodes. Along with this vas deferens. So this vas deferens, it is the scrotum, like this. It goes up into the spermatic cord. It goes ascend. Ascend means going up. It is going up into the spermatic cord, inside the spermatic cord. Where inside the spermatic cord? Up to the deep inguinal ring. Now it is okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next. So when this picture shows, so you can see in this, it is just like in a small video. So it is not playing here. In your when you see your normal PPT, there it will make a picture. So this is, here I will show you, this is testis, this is epididymis, and then now you can see here what I will do. This is the spermatic cord. Okay, here you have a spermatic cord. Now what happened? This is the tail of epididymis. Then this tail continues as vas deferens. This vas deferens, it is going here. So how it is going? Along with the spermatic cord. And then here you have a deep inguinal ring. It goes inside the deep inguinal ring like this. And here it is going on the medial side of inferior epigastric artery. Then again it comes down, coming down like this, down, and then what is this part? This part is the seminal vesicle, and this seminal vesicle, it comes and they join together. They both joined here and forms a common structure. It is called ejaculatory duct. Okay, so when the sperm comes, it comes like this. From the testis, it goes here, here, and then along with this, it comes like this. Otherwise, this will block here. The urine comes from here. Okay. Next, what is prostate? So always remember, it is the only organ present. It is the only organ which is not present in females. Prostate gland is not present in females. Don't forget this. Okay. So where it is present? So it is present below the urinary bladder, surrounding the prostatic urethra here. This part is the prostate gland. This is the urethra inside the prostate, that is called prostatic urethra. So where it is present? It is present behind symphysis pubis, pubic symphysis, behind pubic symphysis, and in front of rectum. Behind the pubic symphysis and in front of rectum. Okay. So again, the function is it makes the seminal fluid alkaline. Alkalines the fluid. So it's a physiological part. So just remember this word. And this is the size 2 into 3 into 4 centimeters. The weight is 20 gram. So it has a it has base, apex and 4 surfaces. Out of these 4 surfaces, the base is directed upwards and backwards. This is the base of the, and posteriorly it has the ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct is present in the posterior part of the prostate gland, and the apex is directed downwards. On the anterior surface, what is there on the anterior surface? Anterior surface is behind pubic symphysis. This is, and posterior surface is related to rectum. Next, what is seminal vesicle? So these seminal vesicle, they are coiled structure 5 centimeters in length. Where they are present? See here, they are present on the base of the urinary bladder. Not this. Yes. So these are the 2 seminal vesicles here. One is this, one is this. Base of the urinary bladder anteriorly and posteriorly related to rectum. Okay. In this picture, you can see both the vas deferens and the seminal vesicle, they are joining here and opening into the urethra. So what is the function? The function is yellowish viscous fluid adds the secretion to the seminal fluid. A small type of fluid, it is going and mixing with the seminal fluid. Then what are the relations? The relations are medially the ampulla of vas deferens. Laterally there is a muscle called levator ani muscle. Anteriorly again, just anterior and posterior you all know, urinary bladder, and posteriorly you have the rectum. On the upper end it is related to urethra. The upper part, it is related to urethra, this one. The lower part, as you already know, the same thing. So what is the same thing? It joins with the vas deferens and forms the ejaculatory duct. Joins ducts of vas deferens to form ejaculatory duct. So where is the ejaculatory duct? It pierces pierce means goes inside the posterior surface of the prostate and opens into the prostatic urethra. See here. In this picture, it is very clear. This is the urethra, the lower part, and this one is the ejaculatory duct. And here, this picture again, it is showing the same thing. See here, this is the testis here, and this one is the head of the epididymis, body of the epididymis, and the tail part. This tail, it goes inside the, there is an, this one is called the vas deferens. Okay. Okay. Now go to the female reproductive system. In the female reproductive system, The gonadal organ is called ova or eggs, or they produces gametes. So these gametes, they are called ova, or they are also called egg. So what the function? What is their function? They helps in the preparation and supports the developing embryo. They helps in the development of the baby, and when during pregnancy. They helps in development of embryo during pregnancy. So what is a menstrual cycle? This menstrual cycle is for average is for the 28 days. Okay. The complex interplay between the hormones and organs at the level of brain, ovaries and uterus. So this is the functioning channel. Okay. Next. Again, the female genital organs, they are divided into two groups. One is the external genital organs and the internal genital organs. The external ones are mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora and clitoris. All these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these four structures together called mons pubis. Sorry, all these four structure, they are called vulva. What are the content of vulva? Vulva consists mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora and clitoris. Next, the internal organs inside, what are there? So they are the pair of ovaries and pair of uterine tubes, uterus and vagina. These are the internal structures. Next, about the ovaries. So how the ovaries are? So these are the almond shaped structures. They are present on the lateral wall of the uterus. So this is the uterus on the lateral side. So this is the lateral side. These are the ovaries on the almond shape. They are present on the lateral wall of the true pelvis or lateral to the uterus. So what they covered? They covered by the fibrous capsule is called tunica albuginea. So these ovaries also, they are covered by a fibrous capsule. It is called tunica albuginea. And when we take the section of the kidney, in the kidney, when you make a cut section, there also you have two parts. So what are those two parts? The cortex and medulla. Same like there, here also you have the outer part. This is the outer part and this one is the inner part. The outer cortex and inner you have the medulla. What is there in the cortex? In the cortex you have the ovarian follicles. So these are the follicles which helps for the releasing of the ovary. Inside in the medulla or inner part of the ovary, they contain the loose connective tissue along with these blood vessels. The large blood vessels, they are present in the medulla. So where they are present? So as we already know, they are present in the lateral wall of the pelvis and the area where they are called, where they are situated in the depression is called ovarian fossa. Ovaries are located in the ovarian fossa. And then it is related. It is related above and behind. Above, it is related to external iliac artery, and behind it is related to internal iliac artery or vessels. So vessels means it contains artery and vein. Okay. Next, what are the ligaments? So there are three ligaments which gives support for the ovary. So one is the ovarian ligament, another one is the broad ligament, and suspensory ligament of the ovary, or it is also called mons pubis, mesovarium, 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 suspensory ligament, and round ligament of the ovary. You have to write. So whenever it is asked, you have to write these names. Okay. So mons mesovarium, suspensory ligament of the ovary. Okay. And round ligament of the ovary. The next structure is the uterus. So what is this uterus? Uterus is a muscular pear-shaped organ. So what is the function of this uterus? It receives the developing embryo, helps and supplies us the nutrition, and helps in the development of the embryo, the fertilization of the embryo. All the functions or development of the embryo related development, everything takes place inside the uterus. Next, so what is its position? The normal position of the uterus is anteversion and anteflexion. Okay. Now, then what it is? So uterus is usually like this. If I make a diagram, it is like this, in this position. This one is lean forward. This lean forward is called anteversion. And then bend forward, this part. This part is the bend forward. This is anteflexion. No, it is not straight. It is not straight. Okay. And the normal position is, it is combination of these two, anteversion and anteflexion. And the upper part, in the, see here, in the upper part of the uterus, you have the two openings. So there are two openings. So these openings for the uterine tubes on each side, right and left side. In this slide, you have to remember only the parts of the uterus: fundus, body, cervix, uterine cavity, isthmus, internal os, and external os. Don't worry about the explain part. Explain part, you remember, you read and understand. So it is one of the, if you read, it will be an interesting topic, because you should know how the uterus is there and what are the functions, everything. So here, for your purpose, you just, if you remember only the parts, that is good. Okay, remember only the parts. Okay, fundus, body, cervix, uterine cavity, internal isthmus, internal os, and external os. So internal os means So os means the opening. So there are two openings inside the uterus. This one is opening in the inside and opening in the outside. Okay. Next one, the layers. So what are the layers? It is made up of perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. Perimetrium is outside, myometrium inside. Myo means muscle. Myo means muscle inside. Endometrium, the innermost, this one. Okay. What is uterine cavity? This one. The space inside the uterus. This part is called uterine cavity. And what is cervical canal? The cervical canal, this part. Okay. Here. So it is the space between the two openings. It is a space between the internal os and the external os. Okay. Open. The internal os opens inside the cervix like this, and the external opening, there is an opening inside here. Where it opens into the vagina. Okay. So what happens here? When the sperm goes, so when you release the sperm, it goes into the vagina. Okay. After the vagina, if there is an opening, if this is the entry, okay, this is the first door. So if this door is open, then the sperm goes inside. Otherwise, it will go waste. And then after going this, after entering in this gate, again there is a one more gate, the internal os. When this gate opens, then the sperm goes inside and mix with the ovary, and then the pregnancy takes place. Okay. Cervix, it is a fibrous ring project into the vagina. It is coming into the vagina and produces mucus. The next part is the uterine tube. So this uterine tube, so where it is present, the uterine tube, it is a it transmits ovum from the ovary to the uterus. So it comes from the ovary comes here and goes and enters into the uterus. Where it is present? It is present in the free margin of round ligament of the uterus. Free margin of round ligament of the uterus. So what are the parts? So here it has all the parts are very, very important for the development of the baby. So one is infundibulum. So this part is the infundibulum here. This infundibulum, it connects with the ovary. Okay. The finger-like projections, they are called fimbria. Finger-like projections called fimbria. Next, the another part, very, very important part of the fertilization. So here both sperm and ovary, they comes and they joins. First they join in this place. Okay. And then come to the uterine cavity for further development. So that is why the fertilization takes place in the ampulla of the uterine tube. Okay. Next, and this is the widest part of the uterine tube, and the narrow part is the isthmus. The narrow part is the isthmus of the uterine tube, and the intramural means this is the isthmus, and then it has to go inside the uterus. While going inside the uterus, it passes through uterine muscle. So this muscular part is called intramural, inside the muscle. Mural means muscle. Intra means inside, mural, intramural, inside the muscle, is the segment that pierces the uterus. Okay. This slide, it is the, just remember this slide, don't worry about this. This is okay. And then how the development process goes. So how the function is. So after, when the sperm comes into the vagina, and what happens there? After ejection of the sperm into vagina, sperm goes and meets with the egg. That is, egg means ovary. Now the basic point you have to remember, what is the lifespan? How much days the sperm will be alive? So it is, the sperm will alive for 5 to 7 days. After 7 days, the sperm will die. Okay. This is the life of the sperm. And then, whereas what is the life of egg? The life of egg is just 12 to 24 hours, just 2 days. In this 2 days, the sperm has to meet with the ovum. Then only the production will start. Okay. Yes, 1 day, or maximum 2 days. 24 hours. It is 1 day only. The fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube and then goes back to the uterus. Okay. Okay, any doubts in this? "48 hours" it is very rare, but minimum is 24 hours. Okay. Okay, so thank you. So we will meet in the next class from 10:30. Okay, in the practical session.